All right, for anybody interested, that's a bee trap. That's what I'd like to bring out and put in people's trees, or set it on the roof of their shed, or we figure out where to put it if you got bees, or if you have a swarm, I can come out, take the top off, and hopefully find the queen and get the queen in there, and all the bees will go all by themselves. And basically what it is just a box with a hole in the bottom, and it's got a couple of bars empty. So that's old. Just to get them attracted to it, get them to come out. But basically once they move into it, and there's another one, a fifth bar goes in there to fill it up, and they move in and take up house. I come out once we notice that there's bees in there, or I come out and I bring it home, hopefully as fast as I can, because my my hives don't match. This came out of the hive, so when they start building, I'm going to have to be pretty dang quick about getting them back here, or I'll have to cut some of it off in order to go in this box. This box it's got a funny shape to it. It looks square, but it's not. You can tell there that it goes down at an angle. So it's just a box full of you can tell they make it. Bees build it the shape that it is. They get started. Hopefully I can catch those nests when it's that size. And of course I'm talking at night, so the guineas are going to get started. They're worse than having a dog. Dogs don't even make that much noise. But what this is it's a long box. Instead of having those stackable boxes that the queen stays in the bottom, the honey goes up in the top, and you gotta take the boxes all apart to check them. Wherever the entrance is, the queen is going to stay close to the entrance, and first couple of frames, and then there'll be honey back in the back. So if I gotta check 10 hives, it's a whole lot of work to take 10 hives apart to put 10 hives back together. Where I can come to one of these, open it up, find the queen. All right, she looked healthy. Do I have, brood? Yep, there's brood. That means that it's healthy. Do I, go on. Another thing about these that I like the best is you notice how they're all tight and close together. You can even put a block in it. I can put a block in it, and I can have one hive in each side until they grow big enough to need the whole thing. With regular stackable beehives, there's a space in between all the frames, and those bees are coming in from the bottom, and they're trained since the beginning of their lives to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So the whole time that you're trying to check them, taking the boxes apart, you got bees coming out of every one of them cracks. And if you do it this kind over here, you just spread it open a little gap. You can take one out. You could even drop another one in the hole while you're looking at this one. You'll be checking it out. All right, well, looks like that's all right. Pop that one out, put it back in. You've disrupted their lives a lot less because they're used to going up the sides. On these ones that are pulled, let me find one that's full. That's new comb, broken, in shipping. Well, right there's one. So you can see that ain't a good one. Right there's one. So you can see down in there, they're going to be running. Bees are going to stop where there's space all the way around the sides to go through to get to the next piece. So they'll do a little bit of comb in there, some propolis and whatnot. But the only disadvantage to this kind of hive, and I seen one a little while ago. Check. That piece of wood right there is put in right down the middle. That tells them to start building on that and build both sides of it. But I saw one. Is that it? Yep. There's space between it. I may get, instead of using these the little starters, I may go ahead and get starter frames 6 inches long or whatever, so they don't leave that space, because this can get into the next one, and then you'd have a hot mess when you're trying to tear it apart. You'll have some mad bees. But everything has its disadvantage. I'd rather deal with a couple mad bees every now and then and have to tear their nest apart to do what I want to do than to have to go through the time of you got a 9 on the bottom, and then 2 9s and a 6 and 2 4s. You got to take every one of those apart, take them off, stack them on the ground just to get to the bottom to check anything, then stack them all up. And them things are full of honey. They're going to weigh 80 pounds. Nah, I'd rather lose some bees. They can do their own repairs or whatever. That's what nature tells them to do. But my boxes aren't gonna have. These are just temporary until I can. But my boxes are gonna be square. Basically the size of that trap right there. Instead of being 9 inches tall, they'll be 18 inches tall, and it's and then instead of being 4 foot high, they'll be 4 foot long, and I'll still have twice the hive. They'll be 18 inches tall. It'll end up being the same, but without all the work of stack, unstack. And another good thing about these is I can drop a solid board in there and open up a hole on both ends, and as the hives is growing, when they're small, you could literally start 3 hives in a box. In this box, I could start 2 or 3 hives. When you buy a starter, which I'm not buying nothing, I'm gonna catch mine for lots of reasons. I don't want commercial genetics. I want wild genetics, wilder genetics. A lot of bees that escape aren't wild bees. They're escaped from, those bees travel for miles away from somebody that has them. I know people that's went out and caught swarms and had painted queens from somebody else's boxes that they didn't notice they were going to swarm, or got away from them. And but even if I was to buy one, if I was to buy a nuke, it would come with 5 frames. That's what I can catch in that trap is what other people are buying, and I'm hoping to get some good wild genetics. But hey, take what you can get at first, and then go through them. But so yeah, it's just that right there is all I start with, instead of the tall frames, which I'm going to build tall frames for the boxes as I go along. I've got a pile of lumber here that's just waiting to go through the saw, and that trap right now, I got 3 traps ready to go, but I might work late a couple of nights, and I'd get up early in the morning if I ain't got to chase no pigs. Got me a stack of plywood. I can get almost 4 traps per sheet. I think I got 30 sheets there. So was 4 times 25 is 100. I hope to have 100 traps built for Lee County, Lee, Harnett, Moore County in the next Well, bees could be swarming any day now. Beginning of March, first good hot week. Yeah, I'm way behind the ball, but hopefully I get some. They'll still swarm all the way through October. Yeah, that's the box I want to bring out. It's just a little plywood box. If they're somewhere away from your house that you can't see it, mount it to a tree, set it on top of a shed. A lot of beekeepers talk about, yeah, they're supposed to be 14 feet high. I've seen honeybees in water meters. I've seen them in stacks of pots. I've seen them in buildings. There's no rhyme or reason. If they find that box and it looks good, smells good, and feels good, they're going to move into it. So, or they'll move into a stump 3 feet away from it. You know, they're going to do what they're going to do. So, yep.